There is no happiness for you later. You are supposed to enjoy your youth. You're not supposed to work your youth away. That is what slavery is all about. Getting the most out of you in your prime years and then putting you out the pasture later on when they can no longer get anything out of you. So you work literally almost 50 years, 5 days a week, week in, week out, for 50 years, and you call that moral? Everything I'm about to say, you already know it to be true. You are a slave. You are a slave to money, to social economics, to status, to politics, to ideology. You have sold your soul to have a place in a world order that you should naturally oppose. A few days ago, I had a short recommended to me, and a video, and it was Ayn Rand, A-Y-N, that's how she spell her name, Ayn Rand. And she was talking about capitalism being the only moral way to live, right? The only way to live. And I thought that was interesting, especially reading the comments, because you do know 99% of the people commenting don't have a penny to their name. They're broke, they're struggling, they barely making ends meet. They're literally one accident or one medical crisis away from being homeless. But yet they're sitting there cheering it on and making this all about a liberal versus conservative thing, which it is not. We're talking about whether or not there is a moral argument for capitalism. Now, according to her, outside of everything she said about it being moral, let me take my glasses off and read this quote, right? Capitalism is the only system in history where wealth is not acquired by looting, but by production. Not by force, but by trade. The only system that stood for man's rights to his own mind, to his work, to his life, to his happiness, to himself. That's a quote from Ayn Rand. I can't say her name, Ayn. That's a weird name. That's a quote from Ayn Rand. Now let's talk about this. First of all, capitalism was actually created by looting. It is solely the creation of imperialism and colonization and exploitation. That's what it is. Even right now, they call Gambia one of them countries where they getting it's rich in some kind of mineral that's needed for our cell phones, and like that tablet I just held up, right? One of these countries have that stuff all in the dirt. And they have a whole bunch of child labor over there, people living in squalor. And the companies that buy this stuff and put in the cell phones and in the tablets and everything, they are filthy rich. But they call that country a third world country. They say that they are poor, but they have all of the minerals that they need, that we need for our cell phones and computers and all this stuff. How are they poor? Because that's what capitalism does. It exploits, it uses, you know what I'm saying? It is not a moral system. The entire thing is evil. It's created on the back of exploitation. This is why I don't understand no black man that claims to be a capitalist. I'm not trying to hear that from you, bro. Don't come around me talking about, man, socialism is a bad thing. So you don't even understand what these words mean. But okay, fine. Let's look at it from the big picture. Tell me, how does capitalism benefit society? When you have homeless people everywhere, but we have enough empty homes in the country to give every homeless person 3 or 4 homes. We have enough empty apartments in the country to give every homeless person 2 or 3 apartments. We have enough building spaces in the country to convert these buildings, these office buildings, into apartments. And we can house, look, we could take one city, literally, take the empty buildings in one city in America, convert that into apartments, and we can house every homeless person in this country do that in one city. we can house every homeless person in this country. But we won't do it because under capitalism, you either sink or you swim. You know what I'm saying? If you can't get out there and become a slave for some job and earn a paycheck, and so you can be able to afford the high rents, and they keep going up, you just suffer. So the only thing capitalism does is it forces us to become more and more slaves. Why do you think y'all so angry, man, these days? Why do you think you people are so bitter, man? Because your whole life is literally work and go home, work and go home, work and go home. You almost can't afford to do anything else. A lot of you dudes don't have girlfriends because you literally have no time to even meet anyone. You try online dating and that becomes very superficial. Plus, people still really meet more in person. You know, yeah, you got some success stories on online dating, but that's usually people that are authentically using that as an alternative to actually being able to get out and meet people, right? That's people that are genuinely using that to actually meet somebody. But most people that are dating, you know, online particularly, they're not really serious about meeting nobody to get with. You know what I'm saying? This is really just a hookup thing, you know. That's all it really is. And at a certain point, it's either a hookup thing or a come up thing, right? And at a certain point, the most men just get lost in the noise. But the point is, capitalism doesn't do anything but cause us to become slaves. Everything gets higher and higher, which means you have to work more and more and harder and longer. And what happens is you have no life outside of that. I had a younger brother, in other words, tell me the other day that he has like one full-time job and like 2 part-time jobs. And I was like, man, that's a lot of work, brother. He said, well, I look at it now, but you work hard now so you can chill later. Later? Dude, you 40. What? There is no later. Do you know your chances of living to 75 is slim? You retire at 60 something, it's what, 68 now? You know what I'm saying? You can take early retirement after 60, after 65, you can take early retirement. But full retirement is at 68, and your life expectancy is 70. Think about that. We are literally working our whole life, and we got the nerve to believe in slavery. That's why they keep lying to y'all about slavery, so y'all don't ever take a look at how we live. Because if you was to sit back and open your eyes, you will realize that we are slaves right now. And I ain't talking about just black people. I'm talking about all of us. Capitalism creates slaves. And the reason why capitalism does this, the whole point to capitalism is so that a few can live like kings over everybody else. A few could become our gods. And we are seeing the fruition of it now with people like Bill Gates buying up all the farmland he can in the country. It's scary because nobody should be able to buy the earth just because they have enough money. Because who can sell it to them? There's nobody that should have the authority to sell nobody else the earth. Because the earth belongs to all human beings. But under capitalism, no, everything belongs to those with the most money. And this is a problem. This is a problem. There is nothing moralistic about capitalism, bro. Nothing. You can't make it up. You can't find it. There's nothing moralistic. You get shot. Hospitals will let you die if you don't have insurance. Come on, man. There's nothing. I mean, come on. The pure insanity of it all. Educations are determined by how much you can afford to go to school, you know, what you can pay for. If you can pay to go to school, you might get a slightly better education than somebody who can't pay. You know, if you can't pay for a school lunch, I mean, come on, it's crazy. There is nothing godly or moralistic about the way we live. Nothing. This is pure insanity. And to see so many black men that advocate on behalf of this because you done let some white people get in your ears, it's crazy. It's crazy, bro. This is madness. But I just want to share that point with you, man, because look, don't let nobody come around you talk about, no, man, we don't need to be socialists. Because let me tell you something, the way we live is not cool. Now, socialism is, no governmental system is right. No mass governmental system that has that much control over the people is a good system, because you shouldn't have no government at all. There is no moral right to government. And human beings should be able to live off the land, and it should not be based on what you can afford. And for her to start out by saying capitalism is built and developed, is not looted, it is looted. It is exactly that. It is created by theft. It is created by exploitation. It is created by colonization, which colonization always follow genocide. What are you talking about? Only a white person can say that, so we're gonna give her a pass because she is white. But brothers and sisters, y'all better not be around here talking about capitalism, man. Because this is one of the reasons why we can't break away from this system. This is one of the reasons why we can't separate ourselves. We have no God consciousness, man. Just the mere fact that you got all the homeless people, all the starving people, you know, malnourished children and everything like this, because you need money for everything. Just the fact that we live the way we live and everything is based on money should show you that this is not a moral thing. It's easy for somebody that's rich to advocate on behalf of the thing that makes them rich. But what is confusing is that you got all you broke niggas that sit around and repeat the talking points. Y'all are the ones I don't understand. I was telling my wife that just today, like, truth be told, you know, the problem is us. The problem is the masses. Because if we didn't buy into it, we will rise up against it and change it. We haven't changed it because we buy into it. We see nothing wrong with any of this until we become the real victims of it. But we are already victims. You're too busy measuring yourself by the homeless person. You're too busy measuring yourself by the person standing at the red light. But what you're not realizing, bro, is that you are working until you are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 year away from death. You are working till you're about to die, just so then you can sit back and live your life. You can't live at that age. You're old. Your body don't move the same. There is no happiness for you later. You are supposed to enjoy your youth. You're not supposed to work your youth away. That is what slavery is all about. Getting the most out of you in your prime years and then putting you out the pasture later on when they can no longer get anything out of you. When you're no longer able to work and be viable to them, that's when they want you to go ahead out to pasture. And really, they hope you die. They hope you die before you can collect any of your Social Security that you've been putting in since you started working at 20. So you work literally almost 50 years. 5 days a week, week in, week out, for 50 years. And you call that moral? Yeah, something wrong with y'all, bro. So you got the nerve to sit back and call a man that don't want to work lazy and say they was wrong with black people. That's what's wrong with niggas now, man. We don't want to work, we lazy. Nobody should want to do that. Nobody should want to spend their entire life working like a slave just so that it can buy things that the earth gives them for free. Now you think about that. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm Brother Kush, aka the Black Alpha. Salam.